It's an easy place to fall in love with, but for many Australian sports, the Gold Coast has been Heartbreak City. One game keeps coming back, this time apparently by invitation.
This is the first time the community knocked the door down and said, we want this football team.
Don't think the money ball is the pass. The money ball is the dummy game.
The Titans fielded a developmental team for their first trial last month, but the big guns were still put to work, winning the hearts and minds of Coffs Harbour. This is one of the Titans' major targets.
It's cool, looks like you got tattoos. You hurt, getting it done.
It was an odd situation for a team that clearly has a following, but no immediate past.
What's so good about the Titans?
I mean, they're the best.
Are they?
Yep.
They haven't played yet?
Let's do the best.
The Titans are a reincarnation, and some of their fans weren't born when Rugby League died its most recent death on the coast in 1998. It had been a short but eventful life.
In the 12 years from 1988, the club became a mincing machine for the creativity and careers of a lot of good people. They had several different owners, 4 different names, 9 CEOs and 7 different first-grade coaches. When they began, they had support but ran out of money, and at the end they had money but not the support of the game's administrators. It's enough to surely make anyone think twice about coming back.
I believe that the Gold Coast needs an NRL team. The NRL or ARL have to back it, and they have to back it for 10 years, otherwise it will struggle. This town is as big as Newcastle, but Newcastle is a hardcore rugby league town. This is not. It's half AFL, half rugby league.
When the Gold Coast Giants were born in 1988, Rothman's medal winner Mike Eden was in the team. But in later years, he and others didn't say much about it.
Are you fair income about that? They almost don't admit that they played here?
Yes, oh, absolutely. Yes. I mean, when I mention I played, I played for Manly, Parramatta and East, and then I throw in the Giants as an afterthought.
And that's really what the Giants were, a knee-jerk marketing response to the arrival of the Brisbane Broncos. But to Gold Coast businessman and Rabbitoh legend John Sattler, the dream was worth a go.
It was a last-minute thing where Ken Arthurson and the boys phoned Peter Gallagher, Bob Hagan and myself a couple of months after the Broncos got in and wanted a team on the Gold Coast. So it was all a hurry, no money, and we got the players that were left over, with no disrespect to the players, because we did have a few good players there, but it was always a struggle, and it was never ever going to fire. After a couple of years, the league said, we want to get rid of this team now, we'll buy it back.
And so it began. The coast became the Seagulls, Wally Lewis came and went, and the club lost millions. But facing a divided competition after the Super League War of '96, the ARL needed a team. So they killed off the Seagulls, rebirthed them as the Gladiators, and gave them to this man.
Trying to give blokes like you a job. That's right. What am I supposed to get out of it?
Players and staff remember property developer Jeff Muller as a hands-on type of owner.
How long did you last as CEO?
8 days.
He can laugh now because lawyer Mike Eden's conveyancing business is thriving. He's into bricks and mortar, not football clubs.
Would you invest money in the Titans?
No.
Why not?
I'm not sure, and I don't know, and I'm not close enough to the ARL or the NRL or the Titans to know, but I think they will need fair income support from the governing body for the next 10 years to make it work, and make it work, as good as it should, and as good as the town deserves, and as good as Michael Searle and all those guys deserve.
So you never gave up on your dream here, did you?
No, tenacity that saw us through, and perseverance.
Now in his 70s, Paul Broughton is chairman of the Titans. He came to the coast 11 years ago, sent by the ARL boss as a troubleshooter, as the Gladiators were imploded to become the Chargers.
And I said to him, when do you want me to come back? And he says, I'll ring, but he hasn't rang.
Though the Titans' headquarters screams Gold Coast, Broughton says they represent the young families pouring into the area to grab the jobs generated by all that building. They want a football team. Before, it was the Tycoons.
Mr Kornhauser wanted a basketball team, so he started the Rollers. Mr Nilsson wanted a baseball team, so he started the baseball team. Mr Skase wanted an AFL team, so he started an AFL team. Indeed, the ARL wanted a team against News Limited, so they formed a team as well. But it never was driven by the community. It was driven because a group of people, either individually or because of egos, wanted to own a sporting franchise.
Did I ever show you the front rower's IQ test?
In the chaos of the mid-90s, the Chargers coach was Phil ECONIMIDIS, a humble, highly thought-of man who stepped up from reserve grade and took his team to the finals. But the next year, a smaller competition meant the Chargers were dumped. So this is where you find the 1997 Coach of the Year.
A lot of people use the word failed franchise, don't they? Do you resent that a little bit?
Yeah, I do resent it. Depends on how you define failed, you know, like finished with $4 million in the bank, and we made the semi-finals in '97. So I don't know how that's deemed a failure.
What guarantees do you have from the NRL that if you get into difficulty, they'll help you out?
None, I wouldn't ask for any.
CEO Michael Searle is Gold Coast born and played for the Giants, an accountant who's tipped his money into the Titans. More important to him, though, was the Queensland government's gift of a new stadium at Robina, to be completed by next year.
So it's the key?
I think so.
Is the key?
Yeah, I think, and it was acknowledged by the NRL. That was one of their key requirements for us to get admission, was to have a Rugby League specific stadium, and I think that will guarantee us longevity.
After all the sporting heartbreak on the coast, and not just for Rugby League, the Titans are here to break down the fear barrier. This year there'll also be 5 AFL games, a rugby competition, another basketball team by the end of the year, and maybe even a soccer presence in 2008.
The thing that I thought would happen did happen. We were the responsible for the catalyst that was going to occur. And I really believe the city's from a sport point of view, a cultural point of view, and indeed a commercial point of view, is on the crest of the golden era of opportunity for anybody.